Welcome to DeKei Studio. We are a group of young people with a deep love for Vietnamese culture, history, and traditions. DeKei Studio was born out of our desire to help preserve and spread the rich spiritual values passed down by our ancestors, especially the folk tales and legends that have shaped the Vietnamese soul for generations. Through a series of videos with vivid visuals and friendly narration, we hope to bring viewers, especially children and young audiences, back to the colourful world of old tales, filled with humanity, wisdom, and timeless lessons. These stories are not just entertainment, they are bridges that connect us to our roots and help us better appreciate our homeland. DeKei Studio is still growing and improving with every step. So if you notice anything missing or imperfect, we would truly appreciate your feedback. Every suggestion and word of encouragement fuels our passion and helps us get better and stronger. If you enjoy our content, please show your support by clicking like, subscribing to our channel to become part of our community that loves Vietnamese culture, and don't forget to hit the bell icon so you won't miss any of our future stories. Feel free to share this video with your friends and loved ones. Let's spread the beauty of our heritage together. And now, let's continue our journey into the world of Vietnamese folklore with a very special tale, the legend of the watermelon. A story deeply connected to our traditional New Year, full of love for the homeland, perseverance, and the ingenuity of the Vietnamese people. Let's discover the deeper meaning behind this humble yet sacred fruit with DeKei Studio. The legend of the watermelon, a story of faith and a loyal heart. Once upon a time, during the reign of the Hung kings in the land of Van Lang, there lived a young man named Mai An Tiem. He was not born into royalty, nor was he of noble descent. He was a poor orphan adopted and raised by others, yet his fate changed thanks to his kind heart and unwavering will. As a child, Mai An Tiem was known for his intelligence and diligence. He was quiet but thoughtful, never relying on others. He worked hard and learned with his own hands. From farming, herding buffaloes, gathering herbs, going into the forest, to fishing, there was nothing he couldn't do. Despite living in poverty, An Tiem never once complained about his lot in life. He firmly believed, "Heaven gave me life, and if I work hard and live honourably, heaven will not forsake me." One year, as the king was travelling through the southern region, he happened to see An Tiem helping an old man across a river. The king was impressed by his handsome appearance, bright eyes, and witty conversation. Curious, the king asked about his background. Upon hearing his story, the king was moved by An Tiem's resilience and upright nature. He brought the young man back to the palace, adopted him as a foster son, and gave him the name Mai An Tiem. There, An Tiem received a formal education and lived a comfortable life in the royal court. From then on, An Tiem became one of King Hung Suelt's most trusted companions. He was talented in both literature and martial arts and was admired for his virtue and proper conduct. The king even married him to his beautiful and gentle foster daughter, Princess Thuet Nga. The couple lived happily and soon had a charming little boy, admired by everyone. However, An Tiem's outstanding qualities sparked jealousy among other courtiers. Whispered rumours began to spread. "He's just an orphan the king picked up, yet now he's sitting alongside the princes. The king favours him too much, even more than his own sons. They say he once claimed his wealth came from heaven, not the king's grace. How disrespectful." At first, the king dismissed these rumours. But as the gossip grew louder and ministers gathered to cast doubt, suspicion took root in his heart. One day, during a royal banquet, An Tiem made a remark. "A determined person can survive even in the wildest, most desolate place. Fortune comes from heaven, not merely from status." This angered the king greatly. He believed An Tiem was ungrateful, attributing his success to fate instead of royal favour. In a fit of rage, the king exiled An Tiem and his entire family to a remote deserted island, far out at sea, with nothing but white sand and salty wind, no shade, no water, and no human soul in sight. The entire court was stunned. Those who loved An Tiem wept in silence, while the envious were secretly pleased. Yet An Tiem held no resentment. Quietly, he packed his belongings and boarded the boat with his wife and child, accepting the punishment without a single word of complaint. When they arrived on the island, the sight was bleak. In front of them stretched an endless beach of white sand. Behind them loomed jagged cliffs. There were no trees, no fresh water, only the ceaseless sound of waves. Tuietnga, holding her child close, turned to her husband, tears in her eyes. "My love, how can we survive here? How will we feed our child? How can we withstand the storms and hardships?" An Tiem gently held her hand and smiled. "Do not worry. Heaven gives birth to the elephant and surely also provides the grass. I believe that if we work hard and live honestly, heaven will not abandon us." And so, starting with nothing, An Tiem began to cultivate the land. He fashioned knives from stone, ropes from bark, and collected every drop of rain to water his crops. He caught fish, foraged wild greens, and built shelters from storms. Tuietnga cared for their child, wove fabric, cooked meals, and helped with lighter chores. Life was hard, but filled with love and hope. One day, while gathering firewood near the shore, An Tiem noticed a flock of strange birds from the west eating black seeds scattered on the beach. Curious, he picked up a few shiny black seeds and brought them back to plant by the stream, not knowing what they were. Weeks later, green vines sprouted, crawling across the land, blooming and bearing fruit. These round fruits had shiny green rinds. When cut open, the flesh was bright red, speckled with black seeds, sweet and refreshing beyond compare. The whole family rejoiced and called it the strange melon, for no one had ever seen such a fruit before. An Tiem cultivated more vines and carefully tended them. Soon the coastal land flourished with green melon vines. Thanks to this new crop, they had food and even enough to dry and store for the future. One day, a merchant ship from the north was swept by a storm and washed ashore. Discovering An Tiem's family thriving on this remote island, growing such wondrous melons, the traders offered dried fish, salt and cloth in exchange. An Tiem happily agreed. Before they departed, he carved his name Mai An Tiem on a melon rind and gave it to them in case anyone wished to know its origin. From then on, the sweet, red-fleshed, green-rind melons began to spread far and wide. People marvelled at them, asking, "Who grew such delicious fruit?" The answer was always, Mai An Tiem on the deserted island. Eventually, the news reached the king's ears. Upon hearing An Tiem's name, he fell into deep thought. A loyal elder courtier stepped forward and said, "Your Majesty, though once suspected, An Tiem has survived on a desolate island without aid, grown a new kind of melon, and lived honourably through hard work. Is this not the very model of a noble man?" The king, deeply moved, regretted his hasty judgment. Immediately, he ordered a royal ship to bring Mai An Tiem and his family back to the capital. Their status was restored and they were rewarded with land, gold, and the honour of having the melon variety propagated throughout the kingdom. From that time on, watermelon became a cherished fruit in Vietnamese life. Every spring, families buy watermelons to display during Tet as symbols of luck, vitality, and the sweetness earned through hard work. The name Mai An Tiem entered history, praised as a symbol of self-reliance and resilience. A man who lived by his own hands and never gave in to misfortune. We hope that through the legend of the watermelon, you have not only discovered the origin of this familiar fruit during the Vietnamese New Year, but also felt the enduring spirit, deep loyalty, and remarkable wisdom of the Vietnamese people in the past. If you found this story meaningful, please take a moment to share this video with your friends and loved ones. Every view and every piece of feedback from you is a great encouragement for DeKei Studio to continue creating and spreading these beautiful traditional values. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any upcoming videos in our series of Vietnamese folktales and legends. Thank you for being with DeKei Studio. We look forward to seeing you again in our next storytelling journey.